How you doing, everybody? It's your best buddy Dave Rabior with the Monzo Group, and I decided I wanted to make a video today to talk about what I call analysis paralysis, and I go over a lot of scenarios in my mind. But one of the main things that I think about all the time is, why is it that some people cannot identify and execute when they see opportunity? Well, I read something recently about analysis paralysis, and what that basically means is that if there were 100% of something, and 20% of that is negative, and 80% of that is positive, people will only focus so heavily on that 20% of negative that they just cannot get over that hump to see the positive. And in my life, I was able to get where I'm at by just coming in earlier and staying later and just flat out working harder than everybody else. To get to where I'm at, in my field, that's what I did. And am I the smartest? No. Am I the best looking? Absolutely not. Shut up, dog. My dog's getting a little carried away. Do I run the fastest? No. Do I jump the highest? No. But what do I do that consistently outworks everybody else? That's just come in earlier, stay later, work harder, and keep a positive attitude. Even when I think that something I'm doing may not be 100% successful all the time, it doesn't matter, because I only focus on the 80% that's positive and not the 20% that's negative. And I look at this, and I'm going to make an example about this. So why is it that you lived in this country your whole life and you're afforded so many opportunities in this life, in this country, America, right? And we're not going to get into this whole election thing, because I think that that's just not something I want to touch on. But why is it that you've lived in this country your whole life and you've been afforded all of these opportunities, and some people take it and run with it, and some people just can't seem to put it together? And what you'll notice is that the people that can't seem to put it together are the ones that just only focus on negative all the time. They talk themselves down, or they talk everybody else down from doing things they should do, or things that would make them more successful. They just talk you down, and they just negative all the time. But why is it that you've been in this country, grew up in America, in Detroit area, Metro Detroit, which is arguably one of the biggest opportunity places there is right now, especially in real estate? I'm sorry about my dog. Why is it that you get up every day and you can't put it together, but somebody from another country like Iraq, Chaldeans, Arabs from overseas, or immigrants from another country can literally pack their bags, jump on a boat or an airplane, come to this country, have no family, no clothes, no job, no money. They can't speak the language. And I personally know guys that came off the boat, Chaldeans, that literally in a 10-year span, drive an Escalade, have their own house, have their own business. Why is that? Why can they do that, but you've been here your whole life and you can't seem to put it together? You got to sit there and ask yourself, why is that? Is it a behavioral thing? Is it because you just cannot make yourself look at that 80% positive? You're just always fixated on the negative. Because if that's it and you can't identify it, I'm telling you right now, that's your problem. If you want to be successful, was I supposed to be successful in my life? No, absolutely not. Did I make really terrible choices in my life? Absolutely. Did I do things that probably could have screwed up my entire life? Yes, unfortunately that didn't happen. But why is it that somebody can come from somewhere outside of this country, can't even speak the language, don't know anything about this country, they jump on a boat or airplane, show up here, and they're outdoing you in life in a 10-year span? You've been here your whole life. That's not their fault. That's not because they got opportunity you didn't have. That's because you just chose not to do it, right? So I'll make another example. I know a guy who came to me a few years ago, and he wanted to be an investor. And I met this guy, and he's from Norway, but he's from Saudi Arabia. His family's from Saudi Arabia, so he's Persian. And he comes to this country from Norway, can't speak the language really at all, comes to this country to learn how to be an airline pilot. So he comes here and he gets himself into the school to become an airline pilot for American Airlines, right? So he busts his ass and bleeds from his eyeballs and his fingers and his ears and everything to study to become a pilot. And you know what he did? He became a pilot. And then he became like the low-level guy. Then he worked his way up to being like a co-pilot. Then he actually became a pilot. A pilot. Like this guy 10 years ago couldn't even do anything, you know, in this country. He didn't even know how to get around. He didn't know how to speak the language good. He didn't get what we were talking about. But this guy comes here from another country, can't speak the language really at all, and he becomes a pilot, and he's flying airplanes. But you're sitting here bitching that you can't get, you know, a couple dollars together in your life to succeed. I mean, that's a problem, right? But here's the problem. So he goes through all of that. And then COVID comes. And the airlines cut all the workers. So after $100,000 worth of loans and $100,000 he paid to become a pilot, he loses his job as a pilot for 2 years. They say they might not call him back. But you know what he did? He called me and he said, hey, the best thing I ever did was invest in real estate and buy rental properties, because now I got enough passive income where if I can't get it done, I can't pay my bills off unemployment, I still got enough money coming in where I can survive. And furthermore, he moved to California from Chicago, where he can barely even afford to live now with his girlfriend, fiance, who has like a menial job. And he's going to come back here, get his real estate license, and jump into real estate with me. And I'll tell you this, I guarantee you that guy will be more successful than the majority of people that you know. You want to know why? Because he doesn't make excuses for why he can't do it. He doesn't sleep in because he feels like, you know, today I just ain't going to put forth effort. No, he doesn't have anybody to fall back on. He has no family here. He has nobody in this country. It's just him and his fiance. So he's going to get up every day with a sense of urgency in his life. And he's going to work real hard. And he's going to learn how to do real estate. And I'm going to personally mentor this guy. And I'm telling you right now, probably within the first 2 years, like I did, I jumped in real estate. My first year, I did like 60 transactions. First year in the business. Is it because I'm smarter? No. Is it because I'm good, better looking? That's absolutely not the case. I mean, look at me. But what I did do was I came in earlier, stayed later, and outworked everybody. So the moral of the story is, stop with the analysis paralysis. Stop looking at everything like, you know, the bad things are the only things that matter, and you could never put together a good day. I mean, every day you wake up, you got life, you got a chance. And people literally wholesale properties with no money and make $10,000, $15,000 a month. I personally know these people. Do they even know what they're doing 50% of the time? No, they don't. But they figured it out, and they're doing it, and they're making more money than you, and they're more successful than you. So if you want to be successful, stop making excuses for you. Stop making excuses why you can't do it, and start doing it. And get with people like me who want to with open arms, welcome people with similar like-minded ideas. And if you came to me and said, hey, I want to better my life, I want to do something, I want to do something with my life, Dave, I can't live like this anymore. I want more out of life. Approach people like me. Approach people that you know are willing to teach you, or sometimes you might think they might not want to, but they would. Because everybody out here right now is having a really hard time trying to find people that fit the mold. And what is that mold? Work harder, stay later, show up earlier, and actually give a shit all the time. Not just when it's convenient for you. Don't build up a couple dollars and take a vacation every single time, because you're burned out. You got people that your local, party store you go to. How do you think that guy feels? He opens up every day at 9 o'clock in the morning and he doesn't close until 12 o'clock at night or 2 o'clock in the morning. And he gets up every day and does it over and over again. Or she, right? Every day. And you wonder why that guy lives in West Bloomfield and drives an Escalade and you're still driving a 1994, piece of shit Dodge Shadow or whatever it is that you drive, right? So stop making excuses. Everybody's got what it takes to make it in this life. Everybody's got something that they got value. Everybody's got something that can make them be more than what they are. So stop punching the clock and telling somebody or letting somebody else tell you how much you're worth. You have a job for somebody else. They tell you when to be there, when to go home, when you can take a vacation, when you can take a lunch break, when you can take a shit, whatever they tell you, right? And they also tell you, you work this many hours, and this is how much I pay you, and this is all that we're going to pay you, and this is all you're worth. Stop letting other people tell you what you're worth. Stop that. Because you're never going to be anything in your life if you sit down and you only focus on 20% that's bad and let that overshadow the 80% that's good. And every day, especially post-COVID and all this stuff, during COVID, what were people doing? They were sitting at home on unemployment. What was I doing? I was closing 10 deals a month. Why? Well, because I just choose to be better than average. I don't want to be just like everybody else. And lately, all I've been hearing is everybody saying, you know, you can't do this and you can't do that and it's not going to work. And I'm just going to, you know, sit home and collect unemployment and I'm going to, you know, make $850 a week sitting on my ass and have a free summer vacation. It's bigger than just having a free summer vacation, man. Look where you live. Look what you drive. Look what you got in your bank account. Do you have anything? If you died today, can your family survive without you? No, probably not. You got life insurance? No. You die, you leave your wife behind, your kids, you got nothing, or vice versa with your husband, you got nothing to fall back on. And you're saying, no, I'm just not going to do that because I don't feel like it today. That's the problem. The problem is you, if that's what you're doing, right? So stop with that analysis paralysis stuff. Stop looking at the negative and let it overshadow the positive, and start looking around. People who ain't even been here 10 years got more than you. Whose problem is that? It's your problem. And that's all I got to offer for today. But it's been fresh on my mind for a long time. And all I do is hear negative. If you're in a fucking funk, snap out of it. Pull your pants up, put your boots on, and get to it. Because there's nobody going to give you nothing in this world except for you. And give back to people when you start getting it. Because karma is like a bus. And when you don't work, where karma's on your side, that bus will run you over and then back up and run your ass over again. So get it and start giving back. And stop being a selfish asshole all the time. And that's all I got to say.